I want to react to this Andypants video, so I'm just gonna get right into it. Like the video? Here we go.
Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
Wait, really? Is this real? This is real. Dice Awards last week? Read the room, bro. Who won the 2024 election? Oh my god. That's always a good start. Just tell half of your potential customers, fuck you, bro. Oh gosh.
Western video game developers have been completely taken over by woke LGBTQ activists as they push DEI, microtransactions, and the uglification of women in games. But these giant companies like Activision, Microsoft, Sony, and EA, of course, need willing game journalists to push their astroturfed satanic slop out. And this is the role
they need
legacy
someone to spread the
media has
propaganda.
served for 30 years on their knees, sucking these companies off. IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, Kind of Funny, Giant Bomb, etc.
Kotaku.
In order
Oh
to
my
get
God.
invited to the Diddy parties and in order to get review copies for games, legacy media outlets like Kind of Funny have to play nice and regurgitate the politics of game developers. Now that Activision is funny,
Wait, let me see that. Yeah, it was so bad for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Like, every single video was like 99.9% positive. Like, oh, and this was all 10 days before the game released, by the way. Huh. Weird how that works out.
Play nice and regurgitate the politics of game developers. Now that
they have to
Activision
play
is
nice.
funneling millions into DEI and Sony and Microsoft have gay, black, lesbians and all their
Oh, I just talked about this. I just went through a 4chan thread on the new Fable game. Oh my god. It's so bad. Neil Druckmann's the worst though. Definitely. Like, this is the most egregious abomination of all these, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Games, do you really have to guess what the politics of these companies are? I mean, freaking Phil Spencer hasn't posted to Twitter in ages. The cuck is on Blue
Yeah, what
Sky
happened to
now.
Phil?
So a few
He
people
used to be our
come to
boy.
mind when you think of the legacy media grift: Alyssa Mercante, Paul Tassi, Andy Cortez, who's definitely secretly gay, the nose himself,
Oh my
Jason
God.
Schreier. But at the center of the clown parade, leading the clown parade, would of course be the king, Greg Miller. Greg started Kind of Funny Games in 2015, and it possibly could have stayed a successful outlet if the dude just knew how
God,
to
I can't, like, it's crazy how just watching this, just looking at like pictures of Greg Miller, I'm literally just cringing. It's like painful to me somehow.
away from politics and talk about games, but he didn't. And this is why Kinda Funny is kinda a joke now, because nobody watches their content anymore. I mean, not to brag, but I'm just some random dude who started a channel 12 months ago. I regularly get 100,000 views on each of my videos.
Yeah.
Kinda
Andy
Funny
Pants is
videos
kinda
are
popping
barely
off.
breaking 20,000 views. And they're supposed to be like some kind of huge outlet with a bunch of employees. Well, it turns out little old Greggy isn't happy about being irrelevant now and isn't happy that nobody is watching his content. So he decided to go on an award show and
He had to be
own the
controversial.
chuds. This should be good.
There was a lot of annoying
no.
culture war stuff
No,
around games in
don't do
2024.
it.
Do you notice that when they're losing, they call it a culture war, and when they're winning, they call it journalism? Why do you
True.
suppose they didn't call it a culture war when they were actively attacking the culture?
They call
10
no,
years
they
ago?
they call it progress. They don't even call it journalism. They call it progress. We're healing. We're making progress. It's like,
to include more gay and black and lesbian characters. Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the talk revolved around
Yeah.
women characters in games not being attractive anymore.
Hang on, let me get
because
this
they're
straight.
not.
Both of you write video games for a living, and you didn't know that men want attractive women in games?
Even all right, even women want attractive women in games. There was this whole survey that they did, and it was like 90+% of women wanted attractive women in games. It was actually, I'm pretty sure it was more, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure women were even more skewed than men were on this category. Like, because women are the ones who like to play as women typically. And if they don't have attractive female characters to play, they're the ones who are going to get the most annoyed. Men, a lot of times, men just play as the male characters anyway. So, it's funny. Both genders actually like attractive women in video games.
Living under a rock? Have you ever played a game? Are you completely blind? Are you using Braille right now to read this? Men want attractive women in video games, just like
Ooh-bah.
women want attractive men in their Netflix shows.
Look at that
You know,
Giga
for being
Chad.
full-time game journalists, you two are pretty retarded.
Yeah, and when I think about it, I have a very nuanced opinion on it, which is basically, who fucking cares? Have these people seen a woman up close before?
That was
What the
pretty
fuck
light
are we
clapping.
talking about, everybody?
I like how betas like Greg have shifted the conversation to say, oh, well, I want women in games to look the way they do in real life.
Also, who cares? Clearly a lot of people care. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to do this reaction. You wouldn't think it's necessary. But clearly, a lot of people do care.
Like, really, Greg? Is that what you want? You want the women in your games to look like the women at Walmart? You want to play as a dude with a fupa? You want to see ugly space lesbians in your game? If you are a man and you find this attractive, surprise, you don't actually want a woman, you want a man. You're fucking gay. All right, let's watch some clips of people not laughing at their jokes at this awards show.
No,
Yeah, now unfortunately, the best
no,
part
cringe.
about GameStop is leaving the GameStop.
Walking out, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was flat, okay.
Also, Troy Baker, if you're out there, if you ever want to leave me voicemails as Indiana Jones, feel free.
Okay.
Yeah, and in 2024, Microsoft made Xbox more confusing than ever. That was not.
Yeesh, rough crowd. All right,
What?
let's watch Greg try to explain what's wrong with video
I don't-
games today. This should be good.
I don't even get
There are
it.
some very powerful executives in the game industry here tonight.
And to all of you, let me be the first to say, stop firing people.
Greg, here's the problem, boss.
Yeah, just, hey, even if you released a disgusting, woke slop game that completely flopped and everyone hated it, and it was because your team was full of DEI hires who care more about inserting black female characters into the game than they do about actually making good gameplay, yeah, you should fire a lot of those people probably and try to maybe save your company at that point. That's how companies work, sadly. If they fucking fail, they have to fire people or they're just gonna go bankrupt. You can't just say, hey, just don't fire them, lol. It's fine.
Look at the games that are getting made today. Nobody's buying this garbage.
Yeah, it's their own
All
fault.
These games are
They made
flopping.
these games.
When games flop, people get fired. This is how it works.
Exactly.
Now, Greg, I admire
That's reality.
you for caring about people's
That's
jobs.
business.
But I would argue if you actually cared about people's jobs, you should have gone back 6 years and you should have said this loudly and clearly. Hey, game developers, make the games people want. The customer is always right. But you didn't say that, Greg.
It's just too
You,
difficult
like
for them.
every satanic, gay, Western
They're
game
too prideful
developer,
for that.
shoehorned in your own personal politics. And this is why games are failing. So you can't have both, buddy. Shoehorn your own LGBTQ politics into games. They will fail. People will be fired.
They will
On the
fail
other
or they
hand,
will do
give the customer what
significantly
they
worse
want,
than they otherwise would.
Hot women and masculine men, the games will succeed and people will keep their jobs. Oh, and this
It
reminds
definitely
me of another
helps.
clip I saw this see with Mark Dara. Check this out.
Did you read the title? Did it say something like your $70 doesn't buy you cruelty? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. The fact
What is this? Game devs in 2024. I should be able to make whatever I want and you can't criticize it?
that you bought a game that you didn't like doesn't give you the right to be cruel or unkind to the people that developed that game.
Mark, here's the deal.
So because you bought a game and you didn't like the game, you're not allowed to be mean about it. You can't like say, hey, this game is shit and the people who made it did a shitty job. You can't say that. I mean, if it was a business, you know, if I got someone to fucking finish the basement of my house and I paid a fucking contracted company to come do it and paid them and they did a shitty job, guess what? I'm going to be like, hey, you guys did a shitty job. These guys did a shitty job. Hey, everyone, don't use this company. They did a shitty job. That's just what's happening here. But when it happens to game devs, oh no, you can't say that to the game devs. Game devs are a protected class, which they probably are because a lot of them are, you know, a certain demographic of people who are protected in modern day society.
No, boss. It actually 100% gives us the right to say whatever we want to say online because you killed a franchise. You injected a game with your woke homo politics, and now you not only killed a franchise we loved, but you personally led to the people not being able
it's
to...
actually even worse than the example I gave, because in this case, it's like if you had a nice finished basement already, and then you hired a contracting company to come like add a fireplace, and they actually burn down your whole fucking basement. It's like that's what's happening when they have beloved games and then they have these completely new teams that just want to make it woke and want to do their own thing and write their own story, then this is what happens. It ends up being horrible and everyone hates it. And then people lose their jobs. And then they complain about us instead of about themselves for making a shitty product that we didn't buy. And the cycle goes on.
To feed their family now. So we will complain about that online. And we will hold the people responsible for this accountable for it online.
Chuds.
Because you made a horrible game that caused
Strong
people to be laid off.
together.
Last I checked, this is America and we have free speech here. This isn't Germany or England where you get thrown in a jail
UK.
cell for calling somebody fat on Facebook. Furthermore, he's telling us to, quote, be nice. Why, Mark? Why should we be nice? All of you guys are atheists without fundamental moral structures in your life anyway. So why ought we to be nice? I mean, if we're all just atoms banging against one another and there is no God like you believe, Mark, well, there's no fundamental reason that we should have to be nice to people now, is there? Anyway, let's watch some more Greg Miller clips.
How much does
It's usually good to be nice to people anyway, because if you're not, then they're probably going to fucking not be nice to you. Very simple. Treat others as you want to be treated. Yes, religion helps, but it doesn't mean if you're not religious, go out and punch people, because who cares what's going to happen? Well, they're probably going to beat the shit out of you back, and then you're going to get thrown in fucking jail. So
these bonuses need to be that you keep laying these people off? Speaking of Greg Way, Bungie laid off hundreds of people last year, while the CEO of the company was apparently spending millions of dollars on old cars. I'll say this, it's rare to see an executive literally driving a company into the ground.
Ah, yes. When all else fails, blame capitalism. Have you noticed that all the leftist cuck media outlets like IGN, Kinda Funny, Giant Bomb, whenever a game fails, they refuse to blame the game's politics and they always try to redirect it to be about corporate greed.
Oh, it's about CEO number one.
Concord failed
They're
because of
clearly keeping too
corporate
much money.
greed. Veilguard failed because of...
Yeah, the game flopped. Yeah, it had a $60 million budget. And yeah, we only made $10 million in sales. And yeah, the CEO was bringing home like $1 million that year. But if they would have gave them $1 million to the devs instead, they would have made a better product. And the game wouldn't have flopped, right? No, that's not how it fucking works. People just always want to blame up the ladder. Which a lot of times, that is where you have to direct your blame. But a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but some of the times, it's not. It's lower. It's the devs. It's all the hiring practices that they did. So a lot of people do this. They'll blame the higher-ups, right? I've seen this all the time. They just say, oh no, it's actually just the higher-ups' fault because they are ultimately responsible for all the decisions. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of individuals making decisions independent of the higher-ups, right? There's a lot of pieces in the machine that are causing these games to be disgusting woke slop. But I digress.
Corporate greed. When it's so incredibly obvious that these games failed because of their leftist homo politics and making a game nobody wanted. But for gay communists like Greg and Alyssa Mercante, they always try to scapegoat capitalism. It's a
also, who even wants the new Fable game? Like, why didn't they just remaster Fable 1? Maybe they've done it, but if they did, why didn't they do it again? And if they haven't, why don't they do it now and release it to PC? I guarantee you that would actually do really fucking well. Guarantee you. But for some reason, they're making this new Fable DI slop game.
They learned to take the blame off of themselves. Because admitting that politics is the problem in these games would, of course, mean that they are the problem as well. All right, finally, let's look at the dig that they did against Elon Musk.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and I'm not trying to flatter everyone here, but if I know one thing about this audience, is that none of you had to pay someone to play Diablo for you.
It's hard to level up your own characters when you're dismantling democracy.
Have you guys noticed that according to them, when we give $70 billion to Ukraine,
it's too cringe. I have to move on.
$70 billion to Israel or $200 million to transgender kids in Brazil, that's called democracy.
Yeah, guys, democracy is actually when you work, you slave away 40 hours a day, work your fucking ass off to pay a mortgage for a house that you can barely afford and feed your kids, and then you have to pay half of your fucking income in taxes, and then those tax dollars don't even go to things that you care about. Instead, it gets sent to a war that you don't even want to be supporting because you don't fucking want anything to do with it. And that is democracy, guys. That's it. Half of your income being sent to shit that you don't even want to fund is actually democracy.
Good old democracy. But when we ask, hey, why did you waste $200 billion of taxpayer money on dumb shit we don't want? They say, why are you dismantling democracy? Ah, yes, good old democracy. Democracy always fights wars in other people's countries. Yeah, I'm sorry, these people are retards.
This might be a hot take, maybe not, but if it was me, fuck it. Bring them all back. No more funding. Don't care. I genuinely don't care. This is going to be a hot take about Ukraine or Israel. I really don't care. Or Palestine. I don't want any of my tax money going there. Literally zero of it. I don't care. There it is.
I'm not at that joke. It's Greg Miller. G-R-E-G.
M-I-L-L-E-R. Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
No, actually, Greg, I think you're actively being fucked by Trump right now, and you're also actively being fucked by Elon right now, and I don't think it's consensual.
I can't believe this is real. Like, Trump won the 2024 election. The fucking woke DI slop games have been flopping, just falling, just getting shot down like flies, and he's like, no, I'm fucking tripling down. Fuck all you fucking right. Everyone who voted, you know, the majority of the fucking country that I'm trying to sell my games to, that voted for Trump. Fuck you. Fuck you guys. That'll sell my game, right?
Greg's company, Kinda Funny Games, has to be absolutely hemorrhaging money right now. They've apparently got like 6 fat lesbians and beta males working for them right now. So I looked up their YouTube channel, and they've made like 10 videos in the past month that have around 20,000 views each, which is really not good for a company their size. Each of these videos probably made them like $100 each. So their YouTube channel collectively made about $2,000 this month. That's not good, brother. Last I checked, you can't even pay one person's salary with that amount of money, much less 7 people's salary. Jump over to their Patreon. All of their posts have like 2 or 3 likes on each one. Like, this is not good. I'm pretty sure Kinda Funny is on the verge of bankruptcy. But this is probably why Greg is making like weird, desperate videos in his car right now. All of the other legacy media leftist cuck outlets are doing similarly bad. Giant Bomb are the low-T beta males that had Alyssa Mercante come on their show not long ago. There's honestly more testosterone from the women on this couch right here than the men. Their latest video has like 4,000 views. Guys, your channel has 240,000 subscribers. This is not good. Nobody wants to watch your content, boss. What's IGN working on? Oh, look, they have 18 million subscribers, and they have a live video right now about black voices in gaming, and only 18 people are watching it.
Oh, no.
Look, I'm just some dude who started talking about video games on a microphone a year ago. I have zero experience in the industry, and I'm just getting on here sharing my opinion. But how completely trash is game journalism right now?
Did he say a year ago? He's that new?
Just getting on here sharing my opinion. But ago, I have...
Yeah, he said a year ago.
Look, I'm just some dude who started talking about video games on a microphone a year ago.
That's crazy. I didn't know he was that new. He's doing extremely well for being only a year-old channel.
I have zero experience.
I assumed he was at least like a few years old.
I'm on here sharing my opinion. But how completely trash is game journalism right now that me, a random guy on the internet with no experience, can get more traffic and views than these guys?
That's how YouTube is now.
And of course they'll cry,
that's the future.
Sexism.
The future of media is, I think, individual voices, individual content creators, you know? People will bounce around to the people that they like, the ideas they like, the stuff they want to see. People don't give a fuck about these big media companies anymore. Even like a lot of streaming services are kind of dying off, except for like Netflix and Amazon, but
nobody's watching
those are
our
exceptions.
videos because they're bigots. Look, until game journalism wakes up and realizes that they've had their head in the sand for the past 10 years, we're not going to get anywhere. They need to wake up and realize that they serve gamers first. Gamers
That'll never
are their
happen.
Primary audience. Gamers are
because then they'd have to swallow their pride and be like, oh wait, these chuds who actually buy games, wait, we can't just tell them to fuck off? We have to be like normal people, normal functioning adults, and just treat everyone with respect? I can't just tell 60% of my fucking customers that I hate you and fuck you? No, that's not the leftist way.
People that they need to be catering to. And it's the exact same with game developers. Companies in the East, in China and Japan and Russia seem to understand this. Isn't it crazy? The customer is always right. Gamers are your primary audience. Gamers are the people paying money.
Yeah, I know. Crazy concept. Cater to your customers. Crazy concept, I know. Do what your customers want. Make products for them. And they might buy them if you make a product for them. I know, crazy concept, but it just might work.
Gamers are the people who come first, who you need to be prioritizing. All right, guys, before I get out of here, I wanted to remind everybody about our dope Andypants Gaming Discord. We are up to around 3,000 people. It's a very edgy and based server where you can pretty much talk about anything. Click the link on this video to join, and it's 18 and up only. Also, just wanted to let you know that over 70 Christians were beheaded by Islamic fundamentalists in the country of Nigeria this past week. No news outlets are talking about this because, let's be honest, hundreds of Christians are killed every day around the world, and suspiciously, nobody ever talks about it. Wonder why that is. Okay,
All right, that was a good video. Ending caught me off guard, but yeah, it's not surprising. People don't care about Christians anymore. Christians are white people, right? And people hate white people apparently now. At least governments do. But yeah, this video was about this fucking guy. And holy shit. I still can't believe he did that. Why the fuck would you go up in an award speech and just tell over half the people to fuck off because you're mad about Donald Trump and Elon Musk? Alienating half your audience before your game even releases. It is what it is. It's gonna flop. Nothing's gonna change it. These guys, they're just their own worst enemy. They can't help themselves. Like I said, they are too prideful. They will never admit that their audience, the gamers, the chud, maybe they're right. Maybe having an attractive woman is good. Maybe making all your female protagonists fat, ugly, biracial is not actually what gamers want. But maybe in like a decade or 2 decades, they'll wake up after they go bankrupt. But we'll just wait in the sidelines and cheer them on. So yeah, thanks for watching. Andypants, love his videos. If you like this video, like it. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. I'm a new channel, so subscriptions go a really long way. And thanks for watching. Peace.